This week on Hermitcraft.
This week on Empires.
This week on Hermitcraft.
This week on Empires.
This week on Hermitcraft.
This week on Empires.
Dang it, this is my show! Get back in your hole! Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap, this week on Empires. My name is Pixorifs, our writer is LoyXP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara, and the Hermits will now be appearing in 4:3 aspect ratio to preserve the artist's original vision.
What in the world? I'm a little boy.
Thanks to a mystery machine constructed by Grian, a single button press will allow the Hermits to join Hermitopia, the new collaborative empire they've started to sustain their existence in this strange new world until they can find a way back home. And incidentally, it reduces their height just enough to feel uncannily different when they press F5. So Impulse can now feel authentically dwarven, and for some reason B-Dubs is still a pixel shorter than everyone else.
You're one of us now.
Hey!
Wait a minute.
You're like a whole head
What's going on?
It's canon, I guess.
I take it back. We definitely short shame now that they're shot someone shorter than me.
So, from this new upward-looking perspective, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with XB Crafted, who is still technically on the Hermitcraft server. But which Hermitcraft server is the important part, because thanks to the interference of his very own Wilson doll and some unauthorized tinkering with Grumbot and the Rift Portal, XB ends up cast away on first the Hermitcraft Season 1 world download and then Season 7. Eventually he even ends up in the world download for Empires Season 1, but all this tells us is that Grumbot can still download old versions of the world like any other computer can. The rift on Empires Season 2 is entirely unaffected, and Kirilson probably has some explaining to do.
Wifey? Oh, God. Really, guy? You're supposed to be helping me. Man, I need my friends back. Okay, all right. And he's saying that this time, he promises it's gonna work. Is that normal? Is it gonna blow up? Is that... He said he didn't know.
Some fun metaphysical concepts are happening to the rest of the Hermits as well. When deciding how the Hermitcraft people should be different from the Empire's ones, the fanbase, for whatever reason, agreed that they should be universally shorter. Grian put a machine at the Hermit Empire that does indeed crunch the Hermits into their rightful shape. Once again, the difference is purely cosmetic and mostly comedic. But also, Jevin's literally a slime. He could do that at any moment by just getting denser.
Oh my goodness, you're like 1.5 blocks high.
That's amazing. Oh my god, I
Like,
love that.
Slightly over. I'm not so tiny. It's so cute.
Just a little
Look, look, look.
slime.
To test if he truly has resistance to bludgeoning damage, Jevin and I embark on an adventure to find echo shards in the ancient city, and while bludgeoning felt exactly the same, he at least got away with a +3 bonus to stealth, having found the coveted Swift Sneak book. I believe in you. I think you can make it.
I've got faith in you, man. Nope, nothing in that one. Okay, I'm leaving. No.
It's also quite Skyrim of him to then crash at Empire False's tavern in the Kingdom of Cogsmead, though he does not wake up in the same bed. For some reason, Empire's symmetry sneaks up on him while he sleeps and douses the guy in some sort of an amnesia potion. It's actually why I needed echo shards as well. She earlier catches me off guard and... Wait a minute. I don't remember any of this happening. It's quite funny to see the memory issues flare up in Empire's symmetry when the building she doesn't quite remember building is something Hermitcraft False did.
Now, as much as I'm trying to stay away from Cogsmead, I don't believe she's around right now, because I've just been building that up, and no one's... In fact, I don't think anyone's around. I don't remember building that. Oh no, I'm not having one of those sleepwalking building thingy-mabobs happening again. Oh.
She does nevertheless put together the second half of it to form a kind of a bridge toll booth. Though double teaming like that may come back to bite Gemini Tay, because when False is tagged to assassinate an Empire's member in a very particular fashion, that's who becomes the easiest target.
False! Jump up and down on those a little bit, please, thank you.
Oh my god. You just lost the element of
That's okay,
surprise.
that's okay. I don't
False
need
would never
surprise.
kill me, would you, False? You would never.
You were just hitting me, so...
So yes, the tag is bag, and this time it's not personal, it's very communal, and it's the Hermitcraft community versus everyone else. The rules, as Grian puts them, are to keep the chain of assassinations going, with the killing method being decided by the tag dispenser in Hermitcraft land. However, a hermit can only tag an Empire's member, and vice versa. Doesn't help that you have to wear a giant clown hat the entire time. Also, the first thing it does is tell Grian to throw someone into the void, and it takes a whole underground tea party to accomplish. Truly, these are the Roaring Twenties.
Yes! Hi, Lizzie.
What? Hey, Frog.
all of your friends are here.
Where's the tea?
We're all
You
out
forgot
of
the
tea.
tea.
We're all out of tea.
As Gemini Tay runs out of places to store her riches in, Mythical Sausage arrives to investigate her entire religion. The lack of storage and a spring cleaning are then solved by building a new warehouse to stash materials in, and sausage snooping around is solved by the first ship in Dawn's harbour to potentially flee the country on.
At this, would you? Oh my goodness. I love it. It's dark. Hold on. I sleep.
It would be an opportune time to travel by sea since the Pirate Union is going through some turmoil. Still motivated mostly by avenging their oversized parrot, Azuma Void and Zombie Cleo arrive at Shovel Swamp armed to the teeth with their firework crossbows. Nevertheless, they do not go through with the assassination their captain ordered. Instead, the two arm Shelby the Witch with her own firework cannons, and together spawn camp Joey Graceffa, making enough heads for every trophy case.
Don't shoot at me.
Rue the day that you ever fought me.
I'm gonna rue the day. Oh no, you don't know how this works. There's 3 of us now.
Oh, sorry. All right, I'll
See
see.
how she
pirates,
treats
Cleo?
people? Do you see how she treats people? She doesn't even see you guys as real pirates.
That's okay.
I'm not
We know
sure
we're
that
real
we are.
pirates.
If anything, I respect you even more for what you've just done.
You said that last time. I don't know how to feel about this. This flip-flopping is not...
Such a task is much more easily accomplished now the hermits have their paper farm up and running. Cubfan makes sure that the hill is well sweetened with his double-layered sugarcane farm that people keep getting stuck in for some reason.
I was just trying to get some pumpkins. That was all I was trying to do.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, you did a false.
A false?
Yeah, false did this once.
Wait, I'm curious. Sorry, I haven't. Joe? Grab! You don't want to come save me. Guys, you know the plan was for me to build the, part of the Hermit Empire. I am becoming the Hermit Empire.
But worry not, he also runs tunnels through the hill itself, connecting the compound's elements together for easy access. There's places to get stuck in for everybody. Even the sheep, actually. In the wool farm Azuma builds, they're literally inside the glass blocks the whole way in. Something fiber optics.
What?
Yeah.
This is more wool than I've ever seen in my life.
If this had been here like 2 weeks ago, my festival would have been so much easier to build.
Oh my!
It was all wool. Hey.
Ah, yes, the sheep farm. We have too many items.
The local gunpowder provider, Sheriff Jimmy, now has come into possession of a freight train. Though where Good Times with Scar may have miscalculated is he built it bigger than the tunnel it's coming towards. Shipments may be a little late. This and the saloon builds for villager trading bring Scar that much closer to the deputy title, and he even gets his own hat for his troubles. Though a much more difficult quest is ahead, retrieving the star badge from the former deputy, Whip the Goblin King.
I need you to kill him, retrieve the badge, and give it back to me.
But he's been giving me resources. He gave me these beautiful pieces of armor. How can I kill him? And may I point out, he also is holding my cat hostage.
I need you to show your loyalty, Scar. That's your first mission.
It will at least be easier for him to navigate the caves now that Tango has put together a minecart course spanning the Goblin Kingdom. And we're deliberately not calling it a railway or a track because at this moment it's more jump pads than anything.
I fully expect this to not work, but we'll see. Okay, that works. That part works. This is great. Come on.
The flying cart circus is actually a delivery system reaching out from a bamboo farm Tango builds for his floppy-eared friend. The green sticks are meant as the fuel to the flame of future super smelter that will be a pretty hot commodity in an empire whose main export is metal. Though Hermitcraft pals get a hold of him and goblinify Tango even further. As for Hermitcraft's own gremlin, we've covered quite a bit of Grian's shenanigans in today's recap already, though what we haven't mentioned before is that beside the Become Small and Kill Friend machines, Grian has also made the first outline of the future Hermit Empire state building. Quite the task, given that its outer shell will have to house increasingly more and more redstone farms of every variety. And hey, look who found a way to get the Sheriff badge without killing Whip.
So if we go... Actually, if we need to go all the way to Bedrock, of all places, which is going to take a little while. Ooh. I don't know if I'm allowed in here.
In between all those moments, Impulse SV shows us the behind-the-scenes featurette as Hermitopia is born. The scaffolding goes up, they move villagers in, and they discover, like the rest of us have, that Jimmy never has any gunpowder.
Apparently it's in the TNT. It's in the TNT minecart down there. But his farm did have 64 gunpowder in it.
Okay, well I checked the cart. There's nothing in it.
Investigating Pirate Joe's gunpowder farm instead, Impulse gets a set of wings from Mythical Sausage, which we mention mostly because he loses them moments later. After committing himself to building yet another ENX-04 raid farm off the coast of Gemini Tay's base, Impulse skydives into the scaffolding during the lava casting process and sacrifices his wings to the fire. But hey, at least Gemini Tay was watching and could lend him a second pair.
From Gem. Gem will watch Impulse build a raid farm. Oh, the memories.
If that scaffolding snafu gave you deja vu, you've probably been watching Joe Hills, who was tasked with building a pumpkin farm for his contribution to the Hermitopia skyscraper, and after getting an elytra from iJevin, faceplants the framework at ludicrous speed.
Why? Well, let's see. You see this? That's not ideal. You don't want that. You don't want that to, like, destroy your day, right? So,
luckily for him, Impulse SV has just finished a raid farm. Joe immediately takes advantage of the totems, returning with 4 shulker boxes for the community storage. The community throws half of them into lava, just to test if their trash can was working, and Joe begins to wonder if this utilitarian utopia is entirely for him. So after rerouting the trash into a nearby chest, he sets out in search of somewhere with a little more poetry and a little less poetic irony. It's nothing compared to the irony Pearlescent Moon is swinging around, assuming that axe is made of iron, anyway. Inducted into the crew of Midnight Monster Hunters, she transitions out of her goth phase pretty quickly, but one visit to Mythical Sausage's colourful town of Sanctuary will do that to most people. It turns out Sausage has vague memories of a saint that looks a lot like Pearl, but there's barely time to unpack that before she's fretting over how disorganised his storage is. She comes away with the impression that he's weird but generous, considering he gives her some funky looking tools, hands over a spare set of elytra, and introduces her to his dad, who happens to be a 6-foot rabbit blacksmith. That's the weird part, if you were wondering.
Yeah. Hi, Eddie. Good to meet you, buddy.
He doesn't trust you.
No,
Why?
I don't think he likes me like Bubbles does.
She gets just as warm a welcome in Chromia, where she's chosen to set up her starter house and hang her hat. It's lucky then that Scott Smager gives her a hat as a housewarming gift. Now, if only someone else would give her another hat, we could say she's been recapped. And that's about it for this week's Rehat. Our writer is LoyXP, and he loved that joke. My name has been Pixel Riffs, and captions on this video were provided by Liara. Zloy and Lee have just launched Season 5 of the Truly Bedrock server, so go watch them time trial against other teams in an Episode 0 Ancient City raid, and discover how they emerged with a time of -5 minutes. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.